Yesterday, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited said that its investigation had revealed the presence of ethanol in 4 petrol cargoes imported by MRS, the Emadeb, Hyde, AY Maikifi, Brittania-U Consortium, Oando and Duke Oil. While the first 4 firms identified to have imported methanol-laden fuel are private sector operators in Nigeria's oil and gas sector, Duke Oil is the international oil trading subsidiary of NNPC. All methanol-laden petrol cargoes were shipped on behalf of NNPC from Antwerp, Belgium, under direct sale, direct purchase contracts. Briefing the press on its findings, the group managing director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, said he has since ordered the holding back of all the affected products in transit, both truck and marine. Kyari said NNPC quality inspectors, including GMO, SGS, GeoChem and G&G, conducted tests before discharge, which showed that the cargo also met the country's standards. He noted that as a standard practice for all petrol imports, the cargoes were equally certified by the inspection agents appointed by the Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. However, he explained that the usual quality inspection protocol employed in both the loading ports in Belgium and the discharge ports in Nigeria do not include the test for percentage of methanol content, and therefore the additive was not detected by the quality inspectors. Joining us now to provide more insight into Nigeria's fuel importation scheme and how products that do not meet regulatory specifications escape the quality inspection agents of NNPC and the Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority is Mike Osatuyi, Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN. Good morning, Mr. Osatuyi, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Very quickly, the story out there is that, look, there was no inspection, pre-shipment inspection in Antwerp, Belgium. And that also here in Nigeria, according to the NNPC Group Managing Director, there was no need to look for methanol because it's not on the protocol list for distillates in Nigeria. And that was why, this particular off-spec, petrol got into the market. But MRS and other stakeholders are saying, no, it's not true. That methanol, in fact, have been prohibited, in importation of petrol to Nigeria under the crude oil swap arrangement. What exactly is the truth? Who knows the truth? Because we're faced with the standard Nigerian practice of passing the buck from one side to the other.
Well, thank you. I think they are trying to pass blame on themselves. And the truth is that somebody, somewhere, the authority, NNPC, and the agents they are using to import this fuel has failed to do their job. Because this is not the first cargo that has been brought into Nigeria for years. So somebody somewhere has compromised the standard. And we should take that as the reason for this national embarrassment.
Thank you. Well, the statement from the NNPC does clearly say our discharge ports in Nigeria do not include the test for percent of methanol content, and therefore the additive was not detected by our quality inspectors. Now, what kind of a failing is this? Because the specifications have been changed to include the fact that methanol content should be nil. There's documentation that's been made available to Arise News stating that, but it was not implemented. Where does the buck stop at this point? Who exactly is to blame for that? We know the president instantly issued a query, but how far does the rot go here?
Yeah, I confirm that 4 cargoes are involved. And this is not the first time we are importing cargoes to this country. So the question of that the methanol is not in the checklist is not an excuse. Somebody has compromised. Some agents have compromised about the importation rules. And as I'm talking to you right now, we have vessel discharging, right? Which also might have met standard. Yeah, if we say 10% methanol should be there, and they now increase to 20%, then it means that there's a compromise somewhere, either to gain more profit, right, or to make money, knowing that the crude price has gone up. So I mean, somebody somewhere has done something bad to the country, and I mean, the authority has, I mean, the downstream midstream has said, okay, they take responsibility, and we should take it as that. But what they have to do is remedy. They have to bring in good product, and they have to go to drawing board and ensure that this type of embarrassment does not happen again. Because for years we have had this thing, I think, maybe in the last 10 years. But so I mean, something went wrong in the last 1 month from the importer. Either it's the agent they're claiming they do swap with. But they have not done well. That's the truth. And they have taken the responsibility that, okay, they have apologized to Nigerian, and that they are going to do restitution.
Anyway, Osatuyi, I think you need to be more specific. You are talking in general terms. Independent marketers and also MRS, they've said specifically that, look, it's NNPC that should be blamed, because Duke Oil is a direct international trading partner, and that Letasco, that brought in the oil, is also a partner to the NNPC, and that even the ship that brought it in, the North Ghana, or the truck rather, North Ghana is also associated with the NNPC. And when I asked you the question earlier, I just wanted clarity on that. As for remedial actions that you talked about, yes, the NNPC and the head of the authority, the midstream and downstream authority, Farouk Ahmed, and also the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, they've all talked about remedial actions. 300 million liters of petrol already arriving, investigation into what happened going on, and then, you know, NNPC talking about reblending the off-specification fuel that was brought in. But the angle for the marketers, how badly affected are marketers? Because the PRO of the independent petroleum marketers says, look, there have been attacks on petrol stations, and our customers are threatening to sue, although he did not mention specific fuel stations. He only referred to 20 in Port Harcourt. So who's going to bear the cost of all of this? If you could respond to all these issues, seriatim.
Thank you, Dr. Abati. The question of being specific has been specified by the government, who and who brought in this fuel that caused controversy. That has been cleared. The second part on the we marketers, yes, we have got attack from our customers that bought the fuel, and they believe that we marketers are doing sharp practices. And when they buy fuel and their vehicle got spoiled, then they have to repair their vehicle. And I'm sure you have seen some pictures going around on social media where vehicles are being parked in our stations, right? Because they bought the fuel, and within hours, their vehicle broke down. So, but thank God that Nigerians now have known that we are not the importer of the fuel. We are marketers, and we buy this fuel from depots.
Right, thank you. So let's talk about those vehicles that have been parked. The reports in today's newspapers that those individuals who have been affected by this massive failing are planning on taking legal action against petrol station owners, some of whom have already been arrested. And those people are in turn considering litigation against NNPC. What is your take on that? What remedies are available to individuals who are affected, as well as companies that are affected by this? And also, what will be done to restore public trust? I got a really interesting, well, scary message earlier this morning saying that this happened with petrol, but imagine if it happened with jet fuel. Imagine the consequences of that. What will be done to restore the public's trust after this kind of a disaster?
Yeah, the buyers, Nigerians that have their vehicles spoiled, have right to take the legal actions. And we have told our members that we have to create who and who are affected, which stations, which company, so that we can also pass the information to the government. Because since we are not responsible for the importation, then there must be restitution, and that's a fact. And government has to come in this time around for them to mitigate whatever damage they have done to Nigerians' vehicles and to individuals. And the trust issue has to be rebuilt, and government has to go to drawing board. The NNPC and their agents have to go to drawing board and make sure that things are done very well. Because if you are cooking a soup and you put too much salt, definitely you can't eat it. If this is the scenario we are seeing now. So government has to do their work, and they have to do it well. Because we can't continue like this. There's no fuel, we have problems, and then again you are bringing bad fuel, you are giving stories. Yes, Nigerians have right to sue, but we too, marketers, right to also tell the government that yes, this is what we are facing, and that is part of the problem. We marketers, we are facing. When they bring in bad fuel, they will say it's IPMAN. And it is what they give us that we are going to say, but very unfortunate, very regrettable, and it's not fair to Nigerians. And we are part of the stakeholders. We have to, also join government to apologize to Nigerians for this embarrassment.
Well, will IPMAN and its members sue either the NNPC or its agents? Because the national PRO of IPMAN was saying that, look, even if this problem is going to be corrected, costs are involved. For you to evacuate the volume that many of your stations have, you have to hire men, get pumping machine, get trucks and all of that. Who is going to bear that cost? Is NNPC already talking to the independent marketers? And do you think we will not have had this problem if we had local refineries working?
We are not going to sue government on this issue, on this problem, but we are going to collect data of affected stations and what it cost us and pass it to the authority. We are going to engage dialogue so that we don't add to the problem, because this has happened, and they are trying to mitigate the problem. Then, if we have our local refineries, this one will not happen. You say they brought the fuel from Belgium. If we have our refinery in Port Harcourt, Lagos, and all this nonsense will not happen. And that is why we have to also tell the government that they should be serious in getting our refineries on board so that they can start production. And thank God, to Dangote that is coming up on board before December, so that we can do this thing within ourselves in this country without going to Belgium or Germany or Rotterdam.
Are you confident that NNPC will, reimburse you in any way or bear your costs? Because you just said that you'll pass your costs on to them. NNPC has apologized. Are you sure that they intend to go beyond an apology and actually compensate individuals?
They have no choice this time around. This is a fact and figure. They have no choice. It's only when we engage them in discussion and look at these are the figures, these are the facts, and they are trying to be funny. Then we can now look at what we can do within the ambit of the law.
Anyway, Michael Osatuyi, what kind of recommendations will you be giving to government at this point? If you could just outline those recommendations. Or don't let me say government, let me say NNPC. What recommendations, beyond some of those points that have been put out there by the Minister of State for Petroleum, the NNPC GMD, and also the Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority?
The advice we are going to give them is that they have to be more serious and take government job as their personal company, as their personal business. Because if it's their personal company or business, they won't do that. They will ensure that due process are followed. what and what to be checked are done, and then I mean they will get going. But I mean, as we all know that they take it as government job, and due process must be followed at all time, and they have to also engage the stakeholders regularly in discussion. All the stakeholders, they should not think that they know everything, and they have to go for the best surveyor, best inspector, best vessels that will not compromise. I heard that yes, they said they have world class surveyor, but the issue, world class has become local class now, right? So they have to do things well as it should be done, and follow due process.
Accusations have also been made that part of the cause of the current scarcity is hoarding. What is your comment on that?
You can't hoard what you don't have. The issue is that there's already a break in the supply chain, right? And this happened almost about a month ago, 2-3 weeks ago. But they have to do massive importation. We can't hoard what you don't have. Like let me put myself as an example. For the past 5 days, I've not sold a liter in my station. And can I be hoarding? I mean, can I sell what I don't have? No. So they have to do massive importation. Since they say they are the sole importer, they should do the sole importation well for Nigerian to benefit. Right now, I don't know they are bringing about 3 metric tons of fuel, but we consume only about 60 million liters per day. So they have to do it and do their planning very well. They have to do replenishment, the calculation, the workings very well, so that we don't suffer this. Even if we have bad fuel and they have good planning and maybe about 20-30 days sufficiency stock, this embarrassment will not be there. So they have to go to drawing board and do their working very well.
No, the NNPC has already addressed that. The NNPC said that, look, we have enough volume of petrol stock to last us for the next 20 days. And that 300 million liters of, petrol have also been brought in. And in any case, why are you so sure that we consume up to 60 million liters of petrol per day in this country, when even the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, just about a week ago, was saying that that's the most opaque thing, the best kept secret in the history of Nigeria, that we don't know how much fuel we consume. But you spoke so confidently that we consume 60 million. Are you really sure?
Yeah, the figure, you see, the figure keep on changing. Some people say 70. Even there was a time GMG said, about 197, 103 million liters per day. But I'm sure that the actual consumption of Nigerian cannot be more than 60 million liters if you go to real consumption. But if anybody can come up with his own figure, but if you take it realistically, we are not more than that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike Osatuyi, for joining us on the morning show.